So why'd you go to the prison?
just to see what it was like in there. But they were all quiet, you know, they're sitting in their cells. But like he said, they were sedated, so. But I was glad to get out of there.
You didn't talk to anybody?
No. Had a chance to ask the keeper afterwards questions if we wanted to ask.
Did you see any kind of people doing any kind of hobbies like painting and different things in there?
It was at night,
Oh.
and so they were mostly in their cells, just sitting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never visited a prison.
So did you always live in Michigan?
That prison?
No, I said, did you always live in Michigan?
Always.
You were born here too?
Born in Midland.
In Midland?
Which is east of, you know where Bay City is? We were east of Bay City. Or west of Bay
West of
City,
Bay
I'll
City.
take it back.
I can't
East of Mount
picture
Pleasant.
you as a newborn baby.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant, we were east of Mount Pleasant.
Oh, uh-huh.
What about Grandpa? Was he born in Michigan too?
Who?
Grandpa?
He was born in Jackson County. Funny how we'd get together, wasn't it?
So where'd you meet him then?
We
It's a
met-
long ways away.
Yeah,
How'd you meet him? You were a pickup.
I met him
Oh, that's
through
right.
his sister, Viola.
Uh-huh.
Didn't you tell me this once? You went on a double date or something?
Well,
And you were supposed to be with the other guy and you liked him better?
Cecil was my sister's husband. Well, Cecil and Lyle and a guy by the name of Bob Cord were in Lyle's car. And my sister and Lyle's sister and myself were walking. We didn't have a car to gallivant around then, we were just walking.
How long ago was that?
That was 1915.
Yeah. And you didn't have a car in 1915?
I didn't have a car. I didn't think about it. But we met them. They were coming up the road, and they just thought they'd ask us for a date. And then Cecil said to Lyle, he said, well, you take the youngest one. He's talking about Edna and I. You take the youngest one, and I'll take the oldest one. So that's how come. I was younger than Edna, so that's how come I married Grandpa. But he had a touring car, a Ford touring car.
Whose was it?
Grandpa's.
Oh.
Lyle's.
What's a Ford touring car?
It's a top. The top went back. It closed over, just like it was canvas, and you'd flap it back, and it would all go like an accordion at the back, and then if you wanted protection, it'd come over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Touring car.
Like a convertible.
Like a convertible, only it was two-seater.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where did you end up? Where was the first place to live?
The first place we lived, we met on 929 North Pine Street in Lansing. In an apartment upstairs. We shared it with another couple. We shared the bathroom. $9 a week.
$9 a week?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you lived in, because I always thought you lived in Lake Odessa.
Mm-mm.
We didn't move to Lake Odessa for a long, long time. That was 19...
They lived in Holt before that, where I grew up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Before, but after they lived in Lansing?
Yeah.
We lived in Lansing up until the time, in the Lansing area, up until the time the Depression started. That was Maple Hill, which is part of Lansing, really.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in 1929.
And then you had a sweet little baby girl in 1929.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah. And then...
So you live, where's the place you lived? You said you had lived someplace that had dirt floors. You're telling me that.
Well, that was our neighbors when we lived out by Stockbridge. We lived on a sand hill out there. She was a little girl, and we had Junior. And the people behind us, now this was right in the middle of the Depression, they lived in a shanty, kind of a barn thing, out behind us in the field, and they had a dirt floor. And that's where they lived. Well, as I look back on it, it was a kind of just an old shed. And that's where their name was Baum. And that's where they lived.
So where were you living then?
And we lived on a sand hill, the house that Lyle built.
A sand hill?
Yes, you know what sandburs are, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, that was covered with sandburs. And that's where we lived, and we had 4 acres of land. And Lyle raised garden produce, Tim, and peddled it down on that lake where Ann lives right now. He drove all that way in that old pickup truck to sell garden produce.
All the way down to Ann Arbor from Lansing?
From Stockbridge.
Oh, wow.
Like the Portage Lake.
Like
right
you would
there.
you get on like once a week or something?
Yeah. But that was a long drive. And,
In an old truck in 1930? The 1930s.
but it was a pickup truck, and he built a kind of a frame, and with a canvas top on it, and then he had shelves. You know what a pickup is, like got that box.
Right.
But and then he built kind of shelves out on either side of that box, and he would park his truck when he got there, and put the produce on those shelves.
Like the people do with the farmers market in California today.
That's where he
I
did
used to
it.
go there. So did he go down there once a week? How often did he go down there?
Once a week, I think. I don't recall for sure, but I imagine probably once a week.
And Mom, you were saying, Mom, that you went up north in the summertime sometimes when he wasn't working, and you would.
We'd go up in the summer when he was out of work, and they would go into town every day looking for their unemployment checks that didn't come right away. And
Who's this?
Daddy and Uncle Ken
Oh,
would go up camp in the woods. You know, I was telling him how our bathroom was a hole in the ground with a blanket around it, as in a circle. You know.
yeah. Well, that was later on. That was after the Depression.
Oh, that was after the Depression? So why did you go up there?
I don't know. We had a little money. We went up there then.
Because it
when
was
we
good
lived out there
fishing.
on that hill, we had nothing. When I think about how we lived, I don't know. Outside toilet,
No electricity?
no electricity,
So how'd you have light at night?
kerosene lamp.
It was just like a one-room
It just gave
building?
a little light. It had a wick, you know. The bowl of the lamp had kerosene in it, and it had a wick. It went up through the wick. It was about that wide, maybe. And that was all the light we had. Didn't have any radio.
We had lots of fish.
Oh yeah.
But that was when you were camping, or that was in your house?
That
in
was in our
Lansing?
house.
Oh, in your house. Oh.
We lived in a tent, you know, that summer when the Depression was still getting underway. That's when we lived in the tent. And after that, we moved over to that house like I was speaking of. I don't know where Dad got the lumber to put the money to put that house up.
He just went and bought lumber and then built a
I
little
don't know,
house?
probably didn't pay for it. I don't know.
Maybe he traded it for vegetables.
Oh no.
Was it just one room or what?
No, we had a bed. Well, we had partitions. There was just the bedroom. We all slept in the same bedroom. Then across was the living room. Then the other half opposite the bedroom was the kitchen. I don't know, we ate. I guess we must have eaten in the living room. Because that kitchen, we had no drainage. We just had a pail under the sink, then the water run into the pail, and then we'd go dump the pail. And you know what we had for a basement? They used to have, there in Stockbridge, they used to have a creamery. And the thing that they made the butter at this creamery was like a big barrel, round, several feet long. It probably was from here, well, probably that long, and it was round. And your dad your
12
grandpa
feet?
dug a hole in the ground and buried that churn, and that was our place where we kept our canned goods and our vegetables. We had he buried that underground in the hole, in that sand hill. And that was our basement. We kept things in there to keep it cool, because we'd had no ice box. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any refrigerator. That was unheard of.
So how big of an opening was there for you to get the stuff out?
Well, they had a hole in the top, and your dad made a ladder,
Oh.
and we'd go down that ladder. And to get in there, you had to stoop after you got there. But I think there was a couple of steps, maybe 3, to get down into that barrel. And he was the most inventive guy I believe I ever seen. He had a shelf on either side of that, I remember, and I would can stuff in the stuff would be on those little shelves, the canned stuff. And the potatoes and stuff for the winter.
Nice and orderly, huh?
Yeah, and it seemed to me that your dad could do just about anything. I thought about when we went down there. Now, when after the war was over, he went into cement work. He didn't know beans about cement work, but he did it. He learned it. Then we went down there to Lake Odessa, and that lot, you know, with the whole front end of there was just nothing but a swamp. And he had a guy come and fill that with fill dirt. He put retaining wall on either side of that creek. Clear on as long as our property was, I think that was 400 feet long. He built that retaining wall on either side. And then he did everything that we needed. He built our house. He built that bait house.
Yeah.
He did so much.
How long did it take him to do that?
Oh, Lord. I don't know.
Years?
No,
I mean, did you build one thing at a time, one year and then one the next year?
Well,
or?
we knew we were going down there, and I think he went down, and the first thing he did, he had that whole lot filled in with dirt, because that was just swamp. That property was swamp. He said he had the price of 2 Cadillacs in sand and fill dirt. But, I don't know. I was thinking about him the other night, and how creative he was, and he just could do anything.
Your house was 1 room and 1 bedroom, wasn't it? And a bathroom.
When we first moved into it. Then he built on a bathroom, a bedroom for me. And then in '62, we decided to build on that dining room and the new kitchen.